those back on while I remember. Welcome back, my people. After a disappointing Bears defeat, I have returned. I think I actually might do some building in Sandbox today. Also, I wanted to check if the bonus was still going today. Has anybody checked if... Yo! What's up? Oh, yeah, I bet. It was still a really fun game. Like, I went out with my, my brother and my dad to a little, like, sports pizza bar and watched it with a bunch of other fans. So it was still a really good time. But disappointing nonetheless. But again, the excitement was worth going out. Because I haven't actually watched a full football game in, gosh, over 10 years. Because I got really into watching NFL with my dad and my brother and stuff when I was in about like 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, somewhere around there. And that was right around the time... I think they went to the Super Bowl when I was in 8th grade. So I got to grow up, and I actually went to one of the games where I got to see Devin Hester return a punt against the Cardinals for that. So I've gotten to live the full Bears experience before, going both ways. NFL, National Football League. NBA's basketball. Oh yeah, I only got 3 out of that, so I think the bonus is gone. This is just, yeah, these guys. We'll leave them here. But yeah, that Caleb Williams throw. Dude backpedaled 20 yards. Like, I counted. He, like, did a regular, like, 5. He, like, stepped back, like, 5 steps. And then he started getting chased, ran back, like, another 10 yards, kind of looked back and backpedaled another 5. It was crazy. What's up, Cankles? So I'm I want to build something, but I don't know if I want to build an expert right now just because I really don't feel like moving stuff around. I kind of just want to build. And I don't have a... Again, most of the places I could build, like, plenty of bases here, but a lot of the best spots are covered in chaos challenges. And I guess I could just build wherever. But I like to have my locations very intentional. Like, this wouldn't be a bad building spot, right? Like, this wouldn't be bad. It almost doesn't matter. I'm probably just going to go back into Sandbox and work on the previous build that I had already started. Yeah, 14-yard throw, exactly. But it's still wild. Because, yeah, the line of scrimmage is like, they were already, like, in the red zone. Oh, worlds have a super flat land bridge. Like, land bridge, like, somewhere on Ninjago Island? Favorite for the Super Bowl? I don't necessarily have a favorite. I haven't been keeping up on, like I said, I haven't watched a football game in forever. This is actually one of the first ones I sat down and watched without just looking at stats the day later. But, you know, the Seahawks are pretty good, right? They were the ones who blew out the 49ers, right? They seem like pretty aggressive. Pretty solid chances. But yeah, describe this land bridge. Best shuriken? I mean, it really, like, as far as relic, it depends on what you're fighting. Generally, ice is better for fighting dragons, because that's kind of, like, the main boss. Even if I fight this, earth roller with earth weapons and he resists it, like, you're still wrecking them. Like, So for the most part, it almost doesn't matter. So really, if you're gonna choose one over anything, speed that up. I would say do ice, just because even if you're fighting an ice enemy, it's not gonna do that much less damage. And then against everybody else, it'll either do bonus or like regular. But otherwise, as far as materials, opal and steel. You do steel for the top, and then opal for the bottom. Did I never eat that? I guess I didn't. Wait. Oh, I'm doing the wrong button. Oops. Why is it? I kept clicking, and it kept doing my right click even though I was left clicking. That was weird. I must have right clicked once and then it like locked in like it does with the grenades in Battle Royale. I remember having the grenade, that bug where you start throwing grenades in BR, and then if you like click too fast, you start the animation for the next grenade, and then you try to switch weapons, but you don't because you started the next grenade animation, and then you just click another grenade after that on accident again. It's kind of the same thing. I swear we've all had that happen, where you just get locked into throwing things. I swear that's a bug that I've experienced, at least back in the day on regular BR. Yo, match over, it's RTK. Welcome over. See, my land bridge is the monastery. I think they've, like, since day one, put in more, like, world variation, seed variations. Because I have, like, I swear, the first couple of days or week of the update, I really just saw islands similar to mine that people were posting, and maybe it was just bias and other people weren't posting their screenshots yet. But now all the screenshots I'm seeing, they are, like, vastly different from my island. Because I swear I made a sandbox world week 1 to do some videos and stuff. And I'll have to check my... Because I also remember when I did the sponsored stream a couple weeks ago for this update. And I was on my OG survival world. I swear that map was also pretty much the same as this one. Because, yeah, I've seen some pretty interesting map variations. I also have seen some that are not good because it rips people off because they, like, barely get any top part of the map and they get like all bottom. Like I've seen people's maps that are kind of like mine, but the top half is like an island and they have like way less land mass than like I do. It's kind of like the Lost Isles situation where if you got the 4 small islands like I did, you actually got less land mass and it was also harder to traverse than the one big island. How do you get those guns? Check out the top pinned video on my page. It will tell you and show you everything. Basically, you just have to find a spire on the mainland. And again, my video has a visual for if you don't know what the spires look like. Obviously, if you've never encountered one, you don't know what you're looking for. But it's basically these big, giant rock things. But go check out my video. It'll explain everything and show you what you're looking for. And then drop back and drop a like. Especially if it was helpful. Especially. Sorry, but Ninjago ruined. I don't think Ninjago ruined it. I think it exacerbated power creep and other quote unquote, I don't want to call them issues, but drawbacks and problems the game was having due to already massive overhauls. Whereas this was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, I think. It did technically break it, but like there's a lot of things that they were already, I don't think, going like they totally strayed away. This is not a survival game anymore. This is more of a sandbox, like just sandbox adventure. Because like, yeah, there's survival, but I mean it's got to be the most light core survival by like definition. Like there's no, like, they got rid of hunger, temperature, I don't even know why they have the temperature bar anymore. The temperature bar on the bottom left, to me, is pretty much obsolete. Because just being regular hot doesn't do anything, and being regular cold doesn't do anything. It used to, I think even regular cold used to slow you a little bit. And regular hot used to damage you, but very seldomly. And then it was only burning and freezing that like really ramped up. But now that cold and hot are meaningless, that bar that has 3 different, or what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors, 1 for neutral, 2 for cold, and 2 for hot, 2 of them are meaningless because it really only matters when you go into a snow cave, because it never gets freezing or burning outside of the respective caves. And then also, chat, when I know I do a lot of farming in this game, but when was the last time anybody here, raise a hands, needed to go into a desert cave or a snow cave or a grasslands cave for that matter? Like, it seems like the caves are a cool part of a survival game, and they have left those on the back burner for so long. I can go into things like this all day, but like Ninjago, what Ninjago really did was sealed the deal that it seems like every update is going to bring in a new meta. It's not like meta, but like it's going to bring in a new set of stuff that you can do that once you complete it, it kind of eliminates difficulty for all previous content. And it's almost like if you want to play it, not fair, but almost like survival intended, it's almost like you have to start a new world every time you defeat a zone. Just so you can start for like, if you, okay, I started a world from scratch and I did the Ninjago stuff. Now I'm just going to start a new world, get past the Ninjago tutorial, go straight to Lost Isles, and basically start my game from Lost Isles. So that way, I feel like there's a challenge to Lost Isles. And then same thing with like Storm King. I would almost want to like start a new game, especially if I was a new player and I hadn't played the content yet. You'd think you'd want progressive difficulty. Like Ninjago, you beat the difficulty and then it flatlines. I feel like it should be difficulty as you play through like the entire game. But it's like it tops you off at the ceiling right after whatever the most recent update is. My proposal to fixing that is they need to lean into what they did with, see how we have like Ninjago themed charms? And all they need to do is I put the storm charms away. But the storm charms are actually kind of the key to my idea. You know how the storm charms give you a decent amount of health? The legendary ones anyway. They give you a good amount of health, but they also give you storm damage protection. Not just from the storm itself, but from like enemies that are of the storm. So like the Storm King or like the little minions and stuff. Those are all storm enemies. So you actually physically take less damage from their hits and their abilities. They need to have, or should have, a set of charms that are associated to each, like, so mainland is one, right? Lost Isles is another. Star Wars is another, and now, like, Ninjago is another, and then, like, Storm King stuff. All of that stuff, all of those different corners of content need to have their own set of charms. So that way, if you do Ninjago first and you get all the best Ninjago charms, then you're not so OP because you'd go over to do Storm King stuff. Let's say you've never done the Storm Chasers Village before. You'd go to do Storm King stuff and you'd have all the best Ninjago gear. Problem is, the Ninjago gear would only protect you and give you armor against Ninjago type enemies on Ninjago Island. So when you took those same good charms that are good on Ninjago Island, you take them over to the Storm King content, you lose all of that protection. You still gain some of the health, but those enemies are just like chopping through you because you essentially have no like passive armor. So then it would actually push the player to go, oh, now I've got to start from like at least blue storm charms would be the equivalent of my legendary Ninjago charms here. See what I'm saying? So there would be like a level of progression no matter where you go. And then after you defeat the Storm King and get your legendary storm charms, well, then you go to do Lost Isles content, and you need to get the Lost Isles charms. Otherwise, again, your Ninjago charms and your storm charms are crap. against anybody on Lost Isles. It just I think that would solve a lot of the progressional power creep issues in this game. I really, really do. I don't think it's asking much. We already have like a storm themed charm. They just like, I know it would give us a lot of different charms to use, but there could be general charms that are kind of all arounders that are kind of okay at fighting anything. But then you should have a storm charms, Lost Isles charms, Star Wars charms, Ninjago charms, and then obviously your base charm, like your general. That's my proposal. I think that would work so well. And it wouldn't even require them to change much. It would just be overhauling the charms. And they've already overhauled the food. They've already overhauled a lot of, a few different systems in the game. So I don't think overhauling the charms to better the progression in the game would be hard to ask at all. Because it would just be a matter of adding a few new ones to like kind of backlog to Lost Isles and Star Wars and stuff. But that would be tough. I wonder if they're not even, like, they might not even be allowed to add new Star Wars items. Like, I wonder if, like, they probably have, like, the license to, like, obviously have that stuff in the game that they already added in perpetuity. But, oh, another Lost Master one. Nice. Should mark this. But I'm guessing they probably don't have the rights to add any new stuff with the Star Wars name or the Star Wars IP. So that's probably an issue, at least with that one. But the rest of them, I imagine they could have free range on. Any news on Ninjago Part 2? I'm hoping sometime in the next month. We have no official news. So all we have really to go on is gut feelings and assumptions. Nick A30 made some suggestions and everyone went crazy on him taking stuff away. Well, it's taking stuff out of the game. That'd be like, the equivalent for me would be like, if I got, like balloon or auto farming somehow removed, which I don't think it should be. I think that's like the balloon farming materials, that's like, not a loophole or an exploit. It's a fun interaction that even if it wasn't intentional, I think that's totally within the spirit of the game. And that's where you got to ask yourself with like exploits and stuff is like, is it in the spirit of the game? And I think even I'm on kind of Nick A30 side with impulses is sometimes it's like not in the spirit of the game. And if they are going to have impulses, they should limit it to like 2 in a stack instead of like, what is it, 6? But I think taking them out completely is a little harsh, but no, I thought you were just drawing a comparison. A light comparison, not a negative one necessarily, but you know what? Actually, I should just be bear farming today. That's kind of a monotonous activity I can do and talk to you guys. Because I want to build, but I haven't been feeling super creatively inspired lately. And sometimes that's just with my general mood outside of stream. And as a gamer, sometimes also, again, I want a little more out of the gameplay on top. That's what because I don't think, like, I know, again, I'm not biased, but I'm a outlier of this game. I play it a lot. Of course, I'm going to hit limits of, like, I've done everything, give me more content, right? That's always going to be, like, my inner attitude. However, it becomes an issue when I feel like even the casual players feel the same things I do in this game. You know what I mean? Because I don't think even the casual players would disagree that they did most of the Ninjago stuff within the first week or two. And then it was really just repetition farming. Like very, very no thought required farming. Like what I'm doing right now, essentially. Which is fun to an extent, but it's only when you have a variety. And right now, as much as new stuff we got, at the end of the day, a week or two in, you run out of variety pretty quick. Because again, these chaos challenges, you know, how fun is throwing in these embers into a force field after you've done it for the, you know, even after probably the third or fourth time, it loses its novelty a little bit, which I understand is supposed to be a mini part. And again, I hate to complain, and I really hope like part 2 not only delivers like this did, but even steps it up a little more, because I think it's not too much to like not demand more in a negative way, but to hope and expect more in a positive way every time. Like, everybody has room for a 1% improvement with every iteration of something they do. Yeah, I do kind of agree that it became a little too easy, and that's what I've been talking about with, I know I'm kind of doing this slow, I'm kind of farming anyway, but it gets a little too easy, especially when they release like the named dragons, and I'm done. And they all they did was make them have more health, and I think this one bugged. Right? Must have. They only give it health and extra damage, which I hate saying like lazy, but it is got to be the laziest, absolute bottom of the barrel line way to make something in any video game more difficult. I was like, you know how the bears, whether they're Stormwild or not, or whatever kind of bear they are, I'll try to show you, see if I can get this one to do it. But you know how they have the Enrage? And it's their same move set, but they're faster. They run faster and they'll attack faster. I'll try to get this one to do it. Like, you can see his speed right now and his like attack speed. It's pretty like sluggish. Like, it's, you know, he's running, but he's pretty sluggish about it. I want to say, I don't know if all of them do it or how to trigger it, but if you can get them to enrage, they'll like roar, their eyes will light up, and then all of a sudden their run speed, like right now I can outrun him. If he was enraged, he would I wouldn't be able to outrun him. And yeah, I don't think he's gonna do it. I don't know if maybe it's just Stormwild ones, but I feel like it's almost like 50-50 whether the bears will enrage or not. I really don't understand the mechanic fully. But either way, they get faster run speed, and their attack speed is also increased like marginally. So like even that is more technically more creative than an all-arounder damage health boost. And I think the dragon would have been pretty fun if it had an enrage. It already kind of has a light one where it starts like glows orange and it starts doing fire. Imagine if this one kind of like had like some sort of like crazy like third kind of, not phase, but like he would get super angry and enrage, and he would go at least maybe not crazy faster, but just like a little bit faster and have less time in between his attacks and give the players like a little bit of a less window. So it's more of like playing, you have to play a little bit differently, right? To adjust. Whereas against these dragons that they made with more health and more damage, the only adjustment you're really making is war of attrition. You got to do the same thing you were doing to the other dragons, just longer, and you have less safety net. That's like, in like safety net in like amount of hits you can take, right? Which I don't think is a very dynamic or diverse way to make an enemy difficult. Like even the fireballs, it could be, it only needs to be small things to be interesting to me. And I think that would be the same for most players. Like what if the dragon, when he was a named dragon, when he does the fireballs, because I was kind of surprised by this. When he shoots the fireball, it doesn't leave like a flame thing on the ground. Like after he shoots the fireball, you can stand in the spot where the fireball just landed, and you don't take any damage. Maybe the named dragon puts down a little field of fire wherever the fire lands. So it's like you can't walk there again for the next 5 to 10 seconds because it's on fire, or you'll take tick damage. I mean, I can come up with probably a handful of examples that are similar to that are minuscule. I'm sure they require more coding and work. I'm not saying it's brain dead or anything. Like, it's just like flipping a switch on the back end. But those are the kind of things that I think any player would yearn for. Yo, how's it going, Maximus Gamer? Sorry, I'm ranting. We're ranting and farming and walking around today. Why a green potion and not a blue? Because I have a blue in my offhand, so all I have to do is switch to anything, and I have the blue one in my offhand. And the reason I have both is because the blue one, it heals you for 600. So if I'm only missing 300 health, then it just makes more sense to use the small one that only gives 300 health, so you're not like wasting half of your big pot. So I kind of both. I have both, so I can switch to the small pot, and then I can either left click for small pot or right click for big pot, and I can kind of choose on the go. Don't want to be throwing those blue pots down the drain now. Pizza, the only reason I'm carrying pizza right now, it gives health 2 and crit 2. And you might be asking, well, why not take pumpkin pie for health 3 or Hawaiian pizza for crit 3? And the reason is, against the named dragons in expert mode, you have to have a minimum of like about 1100 health. Otherwise, those named dragons will one-shot you. So what the regular pizza does is it gives you just enough health that you don't get one-shot by the named dragons. But it also gives you crit, too. Because if you took a pumpkin pie, it's kind of overkill. You only need to get to 1100-ish to not get one-shot. And if you take a pumpkin pie, it gets you to like 1200, which, yes, again, it saves you from the one-shot, but it's not going to save you from a second shot in a row. So what does it matter whether you have 1140 or like 1250? You're surviving the one shot either way, or you're dying to the two shot either way. So just the pizza's better because it's getting you just enough health to live, but it's also giving you crit 2, which is outputting more damage. Could you kill a dragon? I'd have to, yeah, let's see if because I already killed the named dragon on this login. I would have to log out and log back in to get another named dragon to spawn, unfortunately. I really want to get one enraged, because I swear, if you don't notice it, you might not even know it that it can happen. Maybe it is only Storm Wilds. I don't know. I feel like it's just so random when they actually do enrage, like what triggers it and what doesn't. No way, LEGO Fortnite, my FYP is healing. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear the positive reception. Winnie's just like rolling around on her back right now. Hey, stop picking up garbage. I want the book. Give me the book. Give me the book. Oh, yeah, I saw some people. Maybe it was you posted about it on Reddit. Sometimes I try to look at the name. A lot of times see if it's one I recognize, but it might have been you. Yeah, it looks pretty nice because you can do some good damage up close and dodge in between right into them. And then I think if you have to make any distance, the right click closes the distance really quickly. Yeah, we can see my base too here. Let's... And again, also in the name of making the game better. Again, as much as I love all these big updates, I'll keep saying it until hopefully it starts happening again. More peripheral updates that aren't some magnificent big update like Ninjago kind of is and is supposed to be. The first year of this update, like right within I think it was February, which was only like 2 or 3 months after the game dropped, we got the Gone Fishing update, which was probably already a planned thing. But we need more systems in the game like that where they're like improving on vehicles. That's the other thing, is we haven't gotten a new toy in this game in, I think, since the swivel. I think the swivel was the last thing we got as far as like a new toy or dynamic item in the game for vehicle building. Like I was definitely expecting by now to have like some sort of like other mechanics, like not a swivel, but what's it called? Like joints and stuff that can swing. Yeah, treads, exactly. Treads is something I've been beating on for a while. Like, dude, it's that would make such a cool aesthetic and also utility because you could like program it to kind of like always lump up over stuff. Yeah, and that's the other thing. How have we not even got one single different wheel? Like, yeah, we got the powered wheels, but again, that was with like another big vehicle update that happened within the first couple months of the game coming out. So I think we should get an extended fishing update that makes fishing more exciting. I think there should be some sort of skill involved. Like instead of just like making buckets and like throwing out purple ones for the best one, I think there should be something more behind it. Like sure, you can make purple bait buckets, but if your skill isn't high enough, then you're gonna like they should make more of a mechanic to the fishing. Like even if it's just a bar you gotta hit, like a skill shot or something. Because like just clicking a button when it says tap is kind of brain dead. And I wish there was a little more to that. But I think another thing they could add to the game that's kind of parallel with fishing would be bug catching. Oh, kind of like Animal Crossing has, where they can add a net, and then in all the different biomes, there'd be little brick-built buggaroos floating everywhere, and you can catch them, and maybe they break down into an item if you want them to, or whatever, if you kill them or whatever. But you could also like collect them, put them in a little display, a little Lego display jar kind of deal, and put that in your base. Yeah, planting trees, peripheral stuff that adds to the survival aspect of the game. They keep adding like more content, but it's like it's not foundational content. Maybe that's instead of peripheral content, which I guess isn't a bad name for it, we need more foundational content. Like stuff that breeds more fun and exploration by default. Not something that's like a means to an end, like an update. Like again, Ninjago is a great update under a microscope in itself, but when you look at the fact that, again, once you go through the Ninjago loop in the first like week or two of you playing, there's nothing after that but repetition. Whereas we need more updates that like give you something that's like not easily unlockable with even someone like long-term goals, in-game achievements, like milestones, like killing 10,000 wolves or something, and you get a title for it. Like you get a title, and I don't know what it would do, but it would like go in your name, or you get there could be like a whole extra UI for like some sort of progression in that manner. And that gives longevity because like then any update that you come out with, it's not only do you have the main content, but now you have like Ninjago side quest stuff that you'd be having to do. Oh, dragon killing here. Someone wanted to see my base, and I'll log out after this and get a dragon to spawn. It's kind of annoying too, because I wish they'd update little things like that where why is it that I only get one dragon type spawn per login? Any other enemy, that doesn't seem to be the case. But dragons, you fight one, and then it prevents any of, like if you get a named dragon and you kill it, no other named dragon can spawn anywhere else on the island until you log out and log back in. Maybe there's a time period on it that we don't know of. But like to me, that's a very big a speed bump in the gameplay loop, where if you want to be more efficient, you have to be inefficient. You know what I mean? To kill dragons efficiently, you need to log out and log back in, which especially, not that this game takes like a year, but it's a minute or two sometimes that you're waiting in that loading screen on the way out and the way back in. And that I despise nothing less than anything that especially if it's an exploit. I've done a few like tiny exploits in this game's history, but if it's an exploit that requires logging out and log back in, count me out, dude. it's not even worth it. Dragons are barely worth it for me. And that's why I've kind of like slowed down on farming them. It's because one, I already have 2 stacks of 80 at this point. Oh yeah, well the storm. See, now the Storm King makes a bit of sense. Now I believe they could reduce it to like 8 to 12 hours at this point. Why not? Or you could like choose after you defeat it or something how long you want it to be, like 8, 12, or 24. But that's like a big end-game boss. Like it's like just a dragon mob, man. It's just a dragon mob. I guess you wouldn't want him to continually spawn in. Like you kill one, you wouldn't want to find one. I mean, unless you're farming. I guess it's probably so that like a new player wouldn't just be finding dragon after dragon, right? Because they technically spawn like almost like they spawn like if you log in and walk around for 5 minutes, you'll pretty much find a dragon, guaranteed. Even if you go into some unexplored areas. All right, let's log out. Let's go back to the Ninjago. It's easier to log out and log back in there. There's way less going on. I don't even mind that the Ninjago tomes are frequent, because you need 30 of them to get all the recipes, so that's not a terrible thing. You can kind of progress that at your own leisure. It just depends on how diligent you are with doing those side quests to get them, the little dummies and stuff. And I like having extra too, because I save all mine, and they're extra decoration. You put them on a wall mount, and they look really cool if you want to throw it, you know, as a decoration in the interior of your build. That, and one thing I would be really cool is if they came out with a functional bookshelf. Because these book pieces that are in the game, obviously real Lego pieces, and guess what? They're designed in the same system. So you could build a brick-built shelf where instead of having to throw these on the wall mount, you could have like a framed shelf where it would have like 20 to 30 slots. And when you put a book into it, it would actually show up in a shelf slot, and you could collect your books that way. I think, see, these are all just like small things that I think even, like, they're nowhere near Ninjago update, but it's the novelties. It's the, you see all like the, like regardless of whether you think Hightail is good or not, it's like people that log in and play the game, I've seen so many things where they're hyped at the small changes that are different from Minecraft. Like, oh, I can do this more easily. Oh, I can make a three space wide door. That's crazy. I was never able to do that before. It's the little novel things that people will appreciate and will drive them to do more creative stuff because we have the tools. Essence to repair would be interesting. I just kind of hate the whole essence system in general. I think essence also not ruined, but it was a step backwards in the survival genre aspect. Whereas like, because before, I don't know when everybody started playing, but if you wanted to put a rune on your weapon back in the day, you had to have hard materials that you collected from the world. One for damage rune. Back then, runes were actually called essences, and essence wasn't a resource you gathered. The upgrades you put on your weapons used to be called an essence. Doesn't make it sounds weird if you're a new player, because that's all you know is that essence is the currency, but that didn't used to be a thing at all. There was no essence currency. It didn't show up in your backpack at all. And runes were called essences. And for damage essence on your weapon, or damage rune, it would be, you had to pay like 2 rough rubies, I think it was. And does anybody else remember? Oh man, what else was it? It was 2 rubies and something else. And then you applied damage to your weapon. You didn't guess what? You didn't have to do. You didn't have to do the freaking like the Price is Right freaking Jeopardy freaking scroll bar thing to pick which like Wheel of Fortune to pick. What other game show can I throw in there to pick your gosh darn runes? You know what I mean? Someone throw out another game show there for me. You know, it's ridiculous that you used to be able to not only use like, and again, using hard materials for something felt more immersive in a survival game. Now it's like we have this generalized currency that comes out of literally everything. I think it dulls the game rather than enhances it. It's like I have nothing but constructive criticism. I think for every complaint I have about this game, I have always followed it up with how I think from a player's perspective it could be improved. And I think that's nothing but pure constructive criticism, right? I don't think I've ever been given deconstructive criticism. All right, let's go find a dragon. If you are vegan, you shall be gone. Sorry. Because it doesn't come from a place of, like, hate or that. It comes from a place of love. Like, I love this game, and that obviously is true. Otherwise, I don't think many people would play a game that's in the position that this one's in as far as, like, player and how it started and all that stuff. I don't think many people would play it for 2 years straight. So everybody in this community that's been along with me playing this game since release, like, we're all here because we love it, not because we want to hate on it. So I think that's what everybody... I don't think I've seen one, like... You know, there's people on Reddit. You got your Reddit warriors and people. But everybody, like, in the content creation community, I should say. Everybody who is a face and a voice is very constructive. What do I need here? Oh, it's this one. I'm not going to be able to complete it because my lightning item is a hammer, and I don't feel like building up to that stupid thing. Last time I was out here, the dragon absolutely ripped apart, like, the whole entire building. It's a game with limitless potential, but then you kind of see what they've done in 2 years, and it's been a lot of fun stuff. Every update, I have fun. There's no doubt about it. But then there's, like, the inevitable, like, update withdrawal, where you're like, oh, damn, I had a lot of fun, but it was very fleeting, because after I completed the gameplay loop, repeating the gameplay loop became less fun. And there are games where repeating the gameplay loop is a lot funner. Oh, it's a regular one, so we'll go find a named one after this. Oops. The dragons are pretty easy once you understand all of their... And that's pretty much... And this isn't a complaint right now. This is for people that wanted to see me fight a dragon and maybe you're having trouble. Just like any enemy in the game, same with, like, even Dark Souls, it's learning what their abilities are and kind of how and when they're triggered. So the dragon, just like some of the other enemies in the game, like the brute... Here, I'm going to do a little TED talk here. So when you're far away, he'll do ranged attacks, obviously. He'll do his charge if he's far away from you. Now, there are ways around this. If you stay close, he'll only do melee attacks, really, and then he'll do this thing, which you can jump over. And then sometimes if you get too close for too long, he'll go from doing melees to doing the... See, like right now, he's trying to do space. If you don't give him the space, he won't do a ranged attack. But eventually, he'll get so pissed off that he does, like, a fire-breathing attack. See, like... I keep chasing him down so he can't do a ranged attack. So you can kind of manipulate even what attacks they do by your proximity to the dragon. So right now he don't want me near him, so he's going to keep trying to run away and do those kind of attacks. But again, as long as I don't let him get, like, more than 10, 20 meters away, he ain't never going to do a charge. He ain't never going to do a fireball. But he will do ground. So it's kind of the opposite. You can kind of do the opposite, stay ranged, but then he's always going to be charging at you and shooting fireballs. So you see how I'm kind of always staying behind him and baiting him? And then he wants to do a melee. And he might do see, right now he might do a fire blast or one of those. So we're going to stay close. And yeah. See, it's a little bit easier when you understand and you've played it 1,000 times, but that's what I'm here for, just dissect it for you on a biological level. I knew he was weak. I was kind of just over-explaining. But it's and then, like, with the dodge for the charge attack, once you get used to the timing on that, it's pretty darn easy. You can also... Well, this is for, again, kind of new casual players who picked up the game recently. The dodge mechanic in this game, I don't know how... I can't remember because I have played a Dark Souls game, but I believe just like many other games like this, when you are in your dodge animation, you are, for 90% plus of attacks in this game, you are invulnerable until you come out of the dodge animation. So you can actually dodge directly into attacks, and you will live. Also, this is a named one. I gotta be a little more careful. Oops, wrong one. So technically that fireball, see how I just tanked it and then died to that. Oh god. Got hit by a second one right after that, but yeah, I could technically dodge right into the fireball and it won't kill. It won't do any damage. So as long as you're in the, so watch. I'll show you again. Oh, mistiming it. Bad example. But dodging is everything in this game. Technically, he can even... the only reason I dodge away from that is because sometimes it's a little buggy, and it'll hit you through the dodge because of lag. But I'll show you next time he does a charge, I'll remember. You can actually dodge straight into his face. See, now, the only reason I took damage there is because that is a channeled effect where it's constantly doing hits. It's doing, like, tick, 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 tick. So I'll dodge maybe the first tick, but not the second or third. But if it's any sort of like single burst attack, all you gotta do is dodge during the instant of the attack and you're good. So gotcha. Boop. Yeah, I just dodged right through him. No damage, even though he hit me directly. I just you just gotta be in that dodge animation. I can technically also dodge and have him land right on my head with that ability. And he won't do anything. And if you dodge, I think it still does it, but if you dodge directly into their head, it'll actually stop them too. It's like, let's do this. Oh, he's gonna do that attack. Oh crap, I didn't realize I took damage. No. See, this is about as far away as you can get with him doing that attack. See how I stopped him there? Guys, stop doing the flame breath. It's like the only one that's like unreliable to dodge if you're too close. Just because, again, you'll dodge the first instance of damage, but it does like probably 3 or 4 instances of damage for the whole breath. And this one, you just run in a circle. He'll try to lead you every time, so you just go left, right, left, right, left, right, and basically fake him out every time. Well, it's not necessarily I don't even think it's a secret second attack. I think it has, just like your dodge has a window of animation, right, where you're invincible. His attack, because he slides a little bit ever so slightly after the jump, that's a whole window of when you can take damage. Oh god, that time I mistimed it. But if you dodge a little bit too early, it'll really look like you dodge the attack, but if his feet are still like hitting the brakes on the ground, the damage from the attack window, see how he slides just a little bit? And what I've noticed is sometimes you can still do a pixel perfect dodge timing, but the problem is sometimes, I swear, you'll rubber band at the instant he lands, which will mistime your dodge completely, and then he still ends up hitting you with that, like, extended animation. Because, yeah, I would... You describe it as a secret attack, but I think it's like, yeah, it's like just longer version of it. Because generally, I always dodge away because of that reason, because there's been plenty of times where I've even dodged and been in the animation after the slide. Like, I know I was, and I was still getting hit. Whoa. Oh, God. And if it lags, like, right when he's about to jump, that's even better. Oh! It didn't even take my heal that I took. Oh. Oh, bro! That was such bad timing. The Earth guy, I'm talking too much for this. That's not my fault, but The Earth guy did a techno tunnel or whatever it's called and bopped me up right into the fireball. What a wombo combo. No, the Earth Betrayer just alley-ooped me. And I got dunked on. I don't even know if I got dunked on. I was the ball in that situation. But no, the dragon really does have aimbot. If you take a launch pad right before he shoots the fireballs, dude, you'll be like 100 meters in the air. Those fireballs are going right past your face. The only reason he's missing is because you're moving a little bit, but like the arc will literally go and then like basically come right by you. They literally have aimbot though. Oh no, I never reset my bed. I'm going to 0-0, boys. Oh, thank you, Blix. I appreciate it. What charms? I'm wearing 2 legendary health charms from Ninjago and then a blue Totem of Return. Can we talk about that too? How have we not gotten at least a rare Totem of Return at this point? At least. You went to Noodles & Co.? Pulled pork mac does sound good. I think, is that, it's over by the 303, right? I think I remember. That's the closest one we have to us. Was where all that, like, all that new stuff is. No, I swear. I have not seen any tangible proof that, like, either dragon is different. Because even before the name dragons, like, I would have some, like that name dragon I was fighting. He seemed like he would do the flame attack a lot more often if I was close to get me off his back. That's maybe the one difference. But I swear, even regular dragons, like, it just depends on the one, what mood he's in. Because it almost seems like when you're close to the dragon, it just kind of goes and it'll do like 2 attacks, and then if you're still close, it'll resort to either the eruption or the breath, and then if you still stay close, he'll just stay in melee mode. I feel like they all behave like I just don't believe at this point that they've put any of that effort to make the mobs behave any differently as far as the AI. Maybe a little bit, but I just don't see any proof. Like, I want to believe. Like, Agent Mulder, like, I want to believe. I just really haven't. It seems, because the only evidence I have is obviously also anecdotal evidence, but which is just as anecdotal as your evidence towards thinking they are. So I can't say you're wrong, because I could be equally as wrong, but I just don't see the evidence. What do you define aggressive for me? I guess that's what I'm not saying you're wrong. Again, I'm just trying to define it, or see if there's something reproducible that you could document, because it doesn't seem like there is, and it's so gray. That's the only thing, is like, if there is, it's such a minuscule difference that it's almost like doesn't matter. It doesn't actually play a role. Like, and if it does, it's, again, so small, like, eh. See, it is lagging sometimes. I press auto deposit. I swore, dude, I wasn't crazy. It's like, I swear I clicked auto deposit on that item. The fireball is 10% bigger? Is that true? How'd you figure that out? Well, that's the only obvious noticeable difference, is the damage and the health, and that's why I keep saying it's a lazy buff to the name dragons. That appears to be the only change, because that's tangible. We can record that. We did a whole day's research on the different dragons' damages, but their behavior, it's a little bit harder to document and prove. Which I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying the other dragons aren't harder, but I've made like similar mistakes or felt not threatened and thrown off guard by both. The only difference I've ever noticed is, oh, how many hits can I take before I got to heal? Name this game, it's LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. Ninjago is the most recent update, but Ninjago is not a separate game. It is a part of LEGO Fortnite Odyssey, which is a open world survival creative builder game, which is becoming less and less a survival almost every month. But it's beside the point. Oh yeah, we died to that dragon. I gotta go back. Where did I find him at? Did I go to this one and die? I think I did. Did I equip a totem? I believe I did. Thank you for checking, though. Thank you for checking. I will never, ever, ever give anybody any crap for a totem reminder. Yo, thank you, Fro. I appreciate it. I have so many unknown energy. I stream the game and play the game like a crap load. So you should see, I still don't have enough unknowable energies to match my gold oils, which again is something I've been lightly complaining about since this update. Is like they gave us the bonus oil weekend, but you still get energy and unknown energies at the same exact rate. So it just exacerbated the bottleneck that was already there. Wait, wasn't he here? Or was I fighting him at the other location? I don't even remember now. Oh, okay, I did, didn't I? I gotta remember to put my... I still didn't do that. I should have went back to the monastery. I keep forgetting to reset my bed. And again, I wish they would make it so your beds back up. So, like, if I sleep in one bed and then I break it, instead of after that defaulting to the world 0, coordinates, why wouldn't it default to the next most recent bed you slept in if it still exists? That's a quality of life thing that I would really, really like. Because again, your current bed, if that breaks, I don't want to have to spawn at my 0. I'd rather just spawn back to a bed that I already have sitting somewhere and had previously slept in. He might also be gone by now too. Sometimes if I take too long and I go too far away, it'll despawn him, and then you have to log out and log back in just to get the name dragon again. I have big hopes for part 2. I'm guessing part 2 is, well, it has to top this, because I'm guessing, you know, it'll be the culmination of what all this is working towards. So I'm really hoping we get like a Storm King level threat. Possibly harder. I think we're gonna have to relog. No, like I said, Sphinx, anytime you could throw me a reminder in the next 5 minutes. As long as you're not being trolly about it, you're being genuine. I'd never be mad at someone for the reminder. Could save my life. Shatter Dragon, yeah. I don't know anything about Ninjago lore, but that seems to be the way it's going. Wait, if you have someone in your world, you can double up on what loot? Are you talking about like the chest reward loot and stuff? Yeah, there's stables and all. That's probably just where they'll chill for you to walk up to them and like have dialogue or some crap. As much as I'd love flying dragons, it'd be interesting. That would be aiming high, which always would love to do, but we still haven't even gotten rideable horses. So jumping right to rideable dragons seems like I'm not saying it's not the place to start and it wouldn't be good, but logically speaking, you think if they were going to add a flying mount that flies in 3 dimensions, we'd probably first want to do a mount that can only run in generally two dimensions for the most part. That would probably be the first step before the other one comes. But again, I'm hopeful. Imagine we get the dragon mount, but it has the seat glitch. Shut up. Stop. We have to reverse psychology them, right? So it doesn't happen. A 3-head dragon. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know if there's anything like that in Ninjago lore. Again, I'm not a big Ninjago person. It was after my time. I swear this area always sucks for the dragon. It like sometimes spawns in and other times I have to go in like the biggest loops to trigger it. 4-headed morph dragon. Interesting. Aha! There you are. Oh, that was it. So are you named or not? See how I dodged there? Because like I dodged at the right time to avoid the slide. But sometimes it'll lag right in that instance and I still take a hit. So, like I said, generally I try to actually like fully avoid it. Now here's my next point. Let's assume that you guys are correct, which you very well probably are. The named dragons are more aggressive and are whatever tweaked a little bit to be a little bit more difficult, other than just their health and HP. I think I lost my point. I was trying to survive that, and my brain started to lock in and not think about what I was saying. Oh yeah, but if that is true, if that is the case, why can't that be described somewhere within the game? Within what did the patch notes say? I don't even remember. Did the patch notes even mention the name? That's the thing. I don't even think the patch notes for when the dragons were added mentioned the name dragons. Right? So if this is all the case, could we get a little more clarity? Like again in the codex, it'd be great if we scrolled here, went here, scrolled to the dragon, and it had named variant types, and it could be like, oh, named dragons have more HP, have more damage, and are also more aggressive and dangerous. If they said that in words, then it would be undisputable. But the fact that it's not stated or not stated anywhere leaves the room for like this confusion we have. Yeah, see, that's the other thing, is they didn't even mention the name, which makes me think, what if it was an accident and they just never said anything about it? Oops, we added the name dragons this update that weren't supposed to come until part 2. Well, the cat's out of the bag now. If we're just hush-hush about it, they'll think it was intentional. What if, is that not a possibility? Or maybe, like, that's the other thing, or they put it in now and it'll make sense in part 2. But where's the logic in that? Giving something that like kind of causes confusion and uncertainty only to like make use of and explain it a month and a half later. Thought this mode died? I mean, what does a dead game mean? What is, I'm curious, and this is not an argument, but like, what is most people's definition of a dead game? Because I always thought of a dead game as one where the developers are no longer putting out updates and supporting it, and the player base has dwindled so far that it's basically nothing. Whereas even now, LEGO Fortnite, not only is it being actively worked on and updated, even if it's not as often as we'd like, the player base is small. I'm not saying it's huge, but I don't think it's at that, like, it's not like it's like 1,000. If it was 1,000 concurrent players a day, like, yeah, I would probably agree with you that it would be a dead game. But 20 to 30,000 concurrent players, again, it's not 2 million it was, but if you only define dead or not dead by how many players a game has from release and then going by the percentage it has a year or two later, I mean, even most games do that, even if they are good games. Yeah, see, that's generally what I think it is most player or people's kind of definition of a dead game is, oh, it started, if it lost 50+% of its player base within a certain amount of time, it died or it failed. It's like, dude, I mean, Animal Crossing is not the most played game in the world, but there's not every, and I've always said this, not every game is meant for everybody. So not every game is supposed to be like Fortnite, where it is like generally appealing to just about anybody that is into video games. Whereas like if you're into Animal Crossing, you're into it because of the need. It goes in such a specific direction and sticks on it that's why you love it. And again, because they've gone in such a specific direction, they're already by design limiting their player base. Not every game is trying to get every age, and Lego may be an exception. You know, Lego's supposed to be for everybody, but like at the same time, the genre isn't supposed to appeal to every single player. So it having a smaller player base isn't a bad thing. And you got to realize, Lego Fortnite, the only reason it had 2.5 million players the first week is because it was put on a platform that already had, 3 to 5 million daily users. So it was a very easy, like, they could have thrown up anything that first week and called it a new mode. It doesn't even have to be Lego related, but it would have had a few million players if they released anything. Like if they were just released Fortnite Survival, which would basically be a revamp of what's it called? The other Fortnite, I can't think of it right now. But like, I don't know. And I always said this too, the reason it also not only had so many players to start, but why they also left is it's the same reason. They advertised it on, or not advertised it, but it was accessible through Fortnite. So everybody who's playing BR had access to it. But everybody who was playing BR and had access to it, before they played it, their expectation was, oh, this is going to be a Lego BR. I played Fortnite for the last 4 years. This is a Lego Fortnite update. Why wouldn't this be BR related? I'm in. I'm ready to play this. And then 2.5 million of those players, or 2 million plus players with that exact mindset, logged in day one, realized real quickly that it had nothing to do with BR or FPS or combat or PvP. And about probably 1 million of them within the first 20 minutes of it hopped off because that wasn't the game they were looking for. And then again, like the other half probably just realized, oh, yeah, I wasn't really looking for that either. I'm out of here. Or they played through, and then there's the other part of that legitimately did want to play the game, but it got a little too dry a little too quickly. Yo, CR got heat. Welcome back, dude. Been a while. Hope you're well. And that's the thing is, Animal Crossing is an amazing game, but it's also not necessarily meant to be a game that, like, every person who plays Animal Crossing probably doesn't play it daily for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Each day. There are going to be the outliers like me who do, but if you got to look at, like, average, most people don't. And that's same with Lego Fortnite. Like, even though there's only 20, 30,000 concurrent players right now, whatever it is, that doesn't mean there's only 20 to 30,000 players playing the game. There's probably somewhere around 100,000 active players that play Lego Fortnite. Are they all logged in at the same exact time? God, no. You can't expect 100,000 people to have the same exact schedule living around the world. So even though there's 30,000 people logged on right now, that's probably in 12 hours or 8 hours from now, there will probably still be around that number logged in, but it's going to be a different people that make up that number. So it's got its fan base. It just doesn't have some daily draw to it like VR does or some other game does. Now it could work towards that better if they kind of did a little more of this kind of the things that I talk about here. I think, Jamie, the one mistake they made was, like, obviously they got the passive advertising to everybody who already played Fortnite. Like, they were going to log in the next day and see it. There was a guarantee. A walk-in billboard that they already had guaranteed eyeballs that were going to see it. So I think they should have done a little more marketing pre-LEGO Fortnite release. And not just creator marketing and, like, videos, like, you know, paying creators to advertise. But also, I think at least, because LEGO and Sony, they invested $2 billion into Epic Games to start this collaboration. So you're telling me you didn't have a milli to throw out commercial? I know that not all commercials cost that much, but, like, that's more like Super Bowl type stuff. But, like, you're telling me you couldn't throw out one, like, professionally produced TV commercial for this game to get the general audience who doesn't play LEGO Fortnite to get it in their minds and try it out for the first time, and very clearly make it in the trailer that it's got nothing to do with a BR? Because that was oh, I don't have any thingies. That was the other problem, is everybody inside of the community was expecting a BR, got disappointed when it wasn't a BR. And now here's the flip side. Everybody outside of the Fortnite community, people who either don't like Fortnite, hate it, or never tried it, if they ever hear about LEGO Fortnite, what do you think they're going to assume it is as well if they have no idea or don't keep up with Fortnite? They're going to assume it's a BR or never hear about it because it's a side game. Not necessarily a side game, but it's a game within LEGO Fortnite, so it kind of has a veil over it. Where I think if more... Like, if we, instead of advertising to 2 million Fortnite players, they advertise to a couple million, like, average Americans, whether they're gamers or not, I think that would have had a lot more pull. But again, I'm not a marketing expert. I didn't go to school for this. But I also do feel I always had a knack for that kind of thing. And I'm also a professional consumer, so I know what I like. No, if they, I mean, I'm not trying to say one would be better than the other, but it's not a bad thing. But the fact that it's called LEGO Fortnite, it puts an immediate perception in people's brains in the name alone. You hear LEGO Fortnite, nothing about, even LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. Nobody really calls it that unless I am making a video for my hook intro of the video, and I say whatever for LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. Most people will still refer to it as LEGO Fortnite. It's synonymous now with what the game is, since that's what it started with. But, I mean, and not to say I don't think the name change was bad or good, but again, it was almost like too little too late. Is it just the... Yeah, Zaki Poo, let me clear something up for you. No, I'm not coming down on you. LEGO, this is everything like Ninjago is regular LEGO Fortnite, or normal LEGO Fortnite as you call it. The only way you cannot play regular Fortnite is by playing Brick Life. Expeditions is no longer a thing. Ninjago is an update in regular LEGO Fortnite, right? So everything is LEGO Fortnite Odyssey except for LEGO Fortnite Brick Life. Those are the only two LEGO Fortnite games. Only two. Just Ninjago is the most recent for Odyssey, just like at one point I remember it was like when they first called it Lego Fortnite Odyssey, wasn't the update itself called Storm Chasers or something like that? So it was called the Lego Fortnite Odyssey. That's the title of the game. Storm Chasers was the subtitle for the update, whereas now it's Lego Fortnite Odyssey Ninjago for the subtitle of the update, right? Brick Life is like someone has a better, what's the game? It's like a VR chat, zero stakes kind of interaction. It's like this little openish world city where you can walk around and do like jobs and stuff, but it's like very, it's not my style, but it's like, what's the word? There's like a game that someone compared it to when I was first playing it that I guess made a lot of sense to a lot of people. But it's not my kind of game. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not. I think it's like Lego Fortnite Odyssey is obviously by default kind of intended for a younger audience, but I think Lego Fortnite Brick Life has an even maybe younger, but it still has a higher ceiling for age. Like obviously everybody can enjoy it, but I think that buy-in, that the floor for Lego Fortnite Brick Life is like it would by default be more attractive and suitable for like a 5 or a 6-year-old who wanted to play video games, because it's like, again, there's no stakes, there's really no difficulty to it. It's just more based on interaction, role play, and that kind of stuff. Hold on, Bones is barking. I'm gonna go let him out. Give me a second. I hear you, buddy. I'm back. Sorry to do the let him out and feed him combo. You know what? Let's head over to... 'cause I'm kind of over... I don't... What do I need more stuff for? I'm always in the spirit of over farming, but I only over farm until I get bored with it. Anyway, or I have enough stuff, which is I've achieved both of those things. So let's hop over to Sandbox. And I kind of, like I said, not that I don't feel motivated to build in my expert world, but I feel less motivated to build in my expert world lately. Oh, exactly, Philip. Like, I'm sure there's still a small population. I don't know if you can still AFK farm or not in LEGO. Like, I wonder if... I'm sure there is, but I've never cared to look into it, considering I get all my XP anyway. One thing I was thinking over last night, actually, that I just remembered, is I think one thing that would make... Oh yeah, I was building a thing the other day. Sometimes I build off stream, blow off some steam. This thing doesn't work very well. I didn't have it balanced quite yet. It like kind of works, but not as good as I like wanted to get it. Like I still didn't get like the thruster balancing right to get it to do any sort of like barrel rolls or anything, and you can't really control where it goes. I'm gonna hit this tree. But it looks cool. The inspiration was almost like from like Fox's ship from Star Fox. It's kind of like the idea behind it. Yeah, and I was utilizing some of the angled building, which I haven't done very much of in my time playing this game, so it's kind of just an experimentation I did off stream. It turned out pretty cool looking. Let's go... Do I have a bus station nearby? So I don't have to make another one. What do you call it? I have no idea. The Silver Viper. I don't know. It does look very like alien-like. Or like a bird or something. Like the front of it, I wanted it to almost be like a falcon or something. I don't know, the Millennium Falcon? Nobody's ever used that before, right? That's a completely original name for a ship. See, look. My Ninjago Island on this sandbox world is like exactly the same. So I either got really lucky or they weren't doing very many world variations when the first couple weeks the game came out. Yeah, the Stinger. I like that. I like Stinger. Yeah, you're right, English Matt. I probably could start a new one at this point. But honestly, again, the issue we were talking about earlier is that once you do Ninjago, like everything's so easy. Let's work on this build some more. Quality of life. I'd love to see some building updates, like turbo building. Like, for example, it wouldn't always like come in handy super often. But like, let's say I want this wall, and instead of building that and then waiting and then building that and then waiting and then building that and then waiting, I wish I could just like click, hold, and then just drag. and then it would be a whole wall that would stay on the snap track. So like you wouldn't be building them all over the place. You could just like that would be pretty sick. And then also the ability to copy. Whether it's a sandbox only mode or if they find a way, I think they could implement it to survival through the wrench. If you have the wrench in your hand, see how if I go to my recents list, say I have just that build I just used. Well, let's say I want to start working on this build and I want to make some tweaks. And let's say I don't want to go back into my build menu to find any of these pieces. I should be able to take the wrench out, and then there should be a hotkey. I don't know. I don't care. Just give us a hotkey, and I can press it, and boom, I copy this piece into my hand. So that way I am now able to build this piece. So I could copy, and I would need the materials for it still, like if I was an expert. But like I wouldn't have to go all the way back into my build menu. Be like, okay, well, where are these lights? Okay, go to here, go to lights, scroll down here. Okay, we find the light, click it, put it there. Instead, oh, click copy. Okay, now I put this light here, here, here. Done. 3 second, like 3 second process. And you know, it doesn't take you that much longer, especially. But that's the other thing is I don't get why they also haven't extended the recents list. You can only have, I think it's like 9 things on your recents list still. It's like not very many. Right, I think, or 12. Does it go past that? I can't remember. Okay, so I think it may be 15. So this is as big as the recent bar gets, which is 16. But why not? Because then when you see how it has this as the most recent thing, this is the least recent thing. When I go here again, and let's just click like another random thing. See, now I click this item, we go back to our recents list. This is now the most recent. It has pushed that other thing out of my recents list, where I don't see why this scroll bar, it gives us the ability to scroll, but yet caps out giving our recents at this row, when really it could just keep tracking and keep making the, maybe make it 100 long, I don't know, but make it long enough to where I have a palette going where I'm building, because this is not a broad enough palette when you're building. It's just not. Because those are all like things that they would just make things, for me, an avid builder, more efficient, but everybody in general. What should I build next? Vote on something. I was thinking on building some sort of like battle arena over there for like fun that has like like a little like bleachers, like people would come to watch like a ninja battle or something. That, and I kind of just need to throw in like a cool build here. And then over here, I was thinking about making this more like garden oriented. But I wanted to start with like a big ass build like I did here. I mean, at least they gave us village chest abilities. That was the one cute quality of life that I was begging for, because when I did my Hero Academy, that was the last village I did before that update, and it was annoying having to bring all my stuff over there, and then you fill your bags up with a few things to build with, and then you run out, got to run back to the chest. It was an annoying process. I am not spawning a dragon in it. Also, I made, this is all custom. This is like a, essentially like an Easter egg in the build, like obviously meaningless, but I added my own little parkour course with a chest of poo as the prize. Do I not have a forest axe? build a slightly biggish building there. How will I make it different from this one? I guess I could do more of like a, almost like a standard, like short kind of temple. I'm going to leave that rock there for now. No, we'll save that one for the one over there because we want that one taller. Let's go. Let's just get the shape figured out here. What, hold on. What face is that building? That one's going northeast to southwest. So this other one. So I like the direction of that. And then this one, which way would I have this one? I have it here. Would I have this one there? I'd probably have this one on grid, which is different from that one. But then this one I should probably do. But yeah, let's do it on that grid. So what I do when I'm starting out a build is I do not worry about the look, really. I actually want pieces to kind of be definitively different so I can see spacing better. But generally, I will just start... Bounds, relax. Sorry, he's barking at someone. I will always start out with a very basic shape. It's like a sketch. You don't want to, like, start with the pen or your marker. You know, start with a light pencil that has a good eraser and kind of get an idea. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. So that'd be a pretty big building. It wouldn't leave me a lot outside. So I think we'll just make it 4 and then go. And the reason I use basic parts is because it's easier to get a shape going and a sketch going. And then once you get the overall structure and like shape of your build going, then it's like a lot easier to go back and just pick the windows you want, pick the doors you want, and the wall texture that you're going for. So like here we got our, I've got it's 4 16s by 4 16s. As you like, it's hard to describe. It's because I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do math to figure out. It's a hot 210 studs. What? No, it's 16 walls, 4 of them, not including the space for the corner piece. But from here, this is where you can, if you're doing roof stuff, you can actually roof stuff. You should probably do before this, but I kind of am trustworthy in what I'm going to do here. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get some music going since I'm building. That way it's not, because I don't like having the game music on. It's not even like that good. And I swear, even when you have the game music up, you'll get those periods of like 20 minutes where the game just doesn't play any music. You guys hear that? Oops. Where did that... I swear I built a piece by accident. Did it go underground? Swear it did. My day is going well. Working on the, I'm not even worried about that. It's backwards. So we're going to replace it anyway. This is a little bit different from my upside temple as far as the overall design, but same idea. Oops. There we go. I think I should have, like, maybe for a couple of rows, keep it. Because at this point, yeah, hold on. I think we do, like, another thing like this. We keep it on the same taper, and then I could make it, because I want this building to be, like, tall. And if I keep doing this, it's not going to make it very tall. So check this out. We're going to change up these roofs just a little bit from where I already placed them. We're going to place them like 8 more spaces back. Which I think... Hold on. I think that'll do what I want it to do. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. Because now it'll be the same roof. Wait, a little bit different, right? I just need a couple other roof pieces for this lineup, or for this math. We need that guy, we need the single one, and that's all we have. Okay, so here, that gets us to the halfway point, right? I think it's, yeah. No, that's even still wrong. Oh yeah, I do need a 16. Duh. Because it's going to be lined up right on the corner. I'm just getting confused. That's right. Confusing myself. Confusing myself. See how this I made it so this part of the build is thinner than that part of the build. However, I made this roof match this part, and you'll see what I'm gonna do like 2 levels that are equal roof distances, and then taper it outwards as you go up. So like each time it tapers, we'll have 2 iterations of that roof setup before it goes up again. So like here, I think I'm gonna do like the same exact thing. Which way do I need to go here? Why does it do that? Hold on. That's so weird. I feel like when I do 2 inputs at the same time, I cannot get it to go the way I want to. That's so weird. I guess it's just better off counting. 2, 3, 4. I think it's just the max spaces I can go anyway. I'm trying to do both at the same time, but it's not working out for me. So I could do a 3rd one, but I think this is where we got to take it in. So this is where we just go 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Oh, didn't need to switch. Now this one we do 16. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, dude, I swear I hate it when it does that. You see the snap lined up, and it's like as you're clicking, it lines up somewhere else. I despise that. Like, here is weird. I just, like, you think it would preference the closest reference points that allow, but, like, how can that reach that far? I'm not mad at it, but sometimes you'd think it would take preference one over the other. Wait, did I not just click that one? Man, am I having a stroke? I swear I clicked the right one twice and I didn't. See, now we go double. We go 2 the same, taper, 2 the same, taper. And now this one goes here, and we go out a full 16. I enjoy your videos. They promote more outside the box thinking and building. You should check out some other people too. I really appreciate the support and the recognition. I have some recommendations. Haskins is a builder I look up to. The Modernist is a builder I look up to. And I'd say they're right up there with me in that level of bringing inspiration and ideas to the game if you're looking for some more. It's not the right place? What's not the right place? See, now we're like perfect. maybe I did do that one off. Wait, did I? Why does that one look different? Yeah, why does that look misaligned? Which one did I line? Maybe I did put one on the wrong spot. I don't think I did. Looks lined up there, but then I go to the other side, it doesn't look lined up. You see right there, it should... Something's off. Yeah, something is off, right? And maybe it's this one they got off. That one? That one looks even. Because that's all right. This one lines up wrong, so... Because all those corners line up. What did I do wrong? Sometimes you're doing things so quickly, you make a simple mistake, and then it takes you a minute to figure out where it is. Because these are all even. That's off by a space, so like... I guess I just placed this roof setup wrong in general. Like, it had to be it. Like, I just put one of those off by, like, a space or something. I'll just restart it. Because, like, again, those are all lined up. Those are all lined up. Yeah, I just must have did it wrong. Because that should be the max distance that could go. Is 16. There we go. Because this one should be the same as the other floor below it. There, that lines up. Yeah, I guess I had it off by one space and I just wasn't noticing. There we go. Yeah, I still couldn't even see it. Do I want... I almost want this building to be like more dark red. Because that one I made like the regular red and white. I guess I could try to incorporate darker colors into this. But there's not as many... I guess there's these ones I could use. What kind of windows? I guess I do have some windows to work with. Should I make this building like the dark red tone? But then I almost... Because then if I do these dark reds, then like all that dark red starts to like blend into each other. Because then it's like dark red on dark red on dark red. Guess I could do the wooden ones like I've been doing with dark red, but then the brown kind of blends in with the roof. See this, once you get the structure done, structure's done, now it's all just creative decision making. Like, what do I want to actually do to fill in those gaps, right? Once you get a flow going of kind of the general idea, what other do? Yeah, let's kind of think outside the box for this one too, see if I have any other parts I can kind of work with that I would like as the corner here. Because there's all sorts of, like, this one looks really good if I wanted to. I think that one would even match the roof pretty well. Like, the brown parts of the roof. What else do we got? I gotta remember I have this thing. This thing will come in good use for this village in different time. Not for this specific building, but this is a really cool piece because it's just wooden in general. So, and I like the dark, this one too, because it literally, it's like, I guess it's similar to the one, but this one, oh no, that one is actually darker and matches. I think this one's a contender. I like the way that looks. If we are gonna go with the dark red. And then up here, I'll probably use more windows than anything. Oh, there's this one too. That's a little bit smoother and less bricky. Could use that one. I like that one. What's this from? Oh. Wait. How did I not see that one? Oh, it's an interior. Wait, no, it's not an interior wall. Oh, it's just way down there. Oh, that would be kind of cool too, if we went like all brown. But then there's no windows that match those, is there? I kind of didn't even realize these were pieces. I've like never looked at these ones before. These two. So like, let's see what one of the red windows, the dark red windows, anyway. Or do you think I match it with the other building? 'Cause I think using these would look nice, and I've got another tone of brown going on. But then, like, how would I break up the pattern? Because I like these windows, too, a lot, and I guess these ones give me that kind of effect, too. The monastery building blocks, you gotta buy the Ninjago Lego Pass. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying now. These ones go with, like, these guys very well. Because I don't know how I like the dark red on red walls. I think I'm gonna make it the same color scheme as that build. It'll make more like consistency with the village. The overall design, this one's more basic, but they just give us way more options for these. I wish they would have done dark red and white instead of dark red and red, or at least given us another option for those. Oh, there is some wind. Oh, I didn't really, hold on. I forgot. Where did, okay, that's why I've never looked for that piece before. It's a window that's not in the window section. The hell? That's a window. Is there a door, though? See, now then they give us no doors. Wait, is there? Yeah, why is there no door that matches that? So they have walls here, and then they have a window and other walls that kind of match it. Because, like, I almost think these ones can go together well too, but even those don't really match. Hold on, I gotta go shut the dogs up. They're being loud. I swear they're so sensitive to any sort of bop or sound they hear outside. They think it's, or sometimes if I click too much, I swear they hear me. Just come in the room with me. You're a good baby. Just stop barking at the dang door or outside noises. See, like, these are great too, but then, like, you don't get a door for them. Like, you don't get a matching door for it. So we'll just go with the red and white because it's the most versatile. The Shogun doors? Oh yeah, I guess those could match with it if I could just do some testing around. Yeah, it does have red in it. Those ones, they're not super... The only... Well, I don't need doors here. It'd be just more like at the bottom, I guess. I don't even have to worry about doors unless it's here. But those... I think they work. I know there's some pieces sticking out, but yeah, that should be good. Oh, no, only 8. Yeah, those actually work really well. Let me see how they look next to the other ones that we have available that we're considering. So we can either go these guys, but those ones didn't have the right window, because this matches that more. I do like that. I might still do red and white, but I do like the idea of using that door. So I feel like that only needs like one window in the middle, really. And then... No, the Shogun doors are really nice, though. Most like, I might even consider changing out the doors I used over here. Oh, actually, I can't. I didn't use doors, and on this one, I used the diagonal door. But I think this will match really well. So what are my other door choices for this? Yeah, I kind of hate these doors. They don't even look that good. I did not center that. I thought I did. It was wrong spot. That's in the middle. Oh, God! Not what I meant to do. Why do I even have that in my toolbar right now? I guess I was doing testing the other day. Hey, that's my thing. Stop. I gotta be careful. I can actually still die in this sandbox world. I don't feel like even spawning a weapon right now. I'll just kill him with this. Why are you breaking my stuff? Asshole. I know I summoned you, but get out of here. Yeah, I think that's best. Daily Bugle, yeah, it has some like brown and a lot of brown stuff, doesn't it? Yeah, those are more interiors, but I think I had a few others too. Maybe not as many as I thought. Wait a minute, it's different from the one I just used. Oops. I didn't realize I had two different ones. I actually kind of like the more... I don't know, what do you guys think? The clean looking ones or the ones with a little bit of grit on them? I think it gives it more color overall since I'm using brown as an accent color here. It's just more of an earthy kind of tone than just pure white. At least on the bottom level, right? Like, I think that's definitely better. I like it. Now, I'm not going to do doors on every side, so this one will do a little bit differently. Although we'll keep the general idea the same. Whoa, where did that tree come from? Oh, I forgot to dig it up. Do I have a shovel? Music is kind of loud, is it? You can turn it down a little more. I guess here we can just extend that. No, because I want it to be like in line with that. How many spaces do I have there? Do like two of these back to back or something. Oh, that's the dark red one. Oops. Something like that. So instead of a doorway, because I don't want 4 doors going in the front. I think even 2 is kind of putting too much, because then you have less to work with. It's kind of interesting. It's a big open thing. Because you can use interior pieces, you just got to put another floor piece under it to kind of balance it out. Because you can use these too on the outside, but again, they're going to end up being... It's hard to tell on this grassy part. Here. So interior pieces by design, they're one floor piece shorter than every other like exterior building piece. So you can use these as exterior walls, but know that when you place them, which is something I could have been doing. So like this one is what, 8 wide. So that means you have to extend it out anyway, but that means you just put an 8 wide floor down first, and then you can put this on top of it. And then look at that. Now it's basically an exterior wall. Now that's something I can do here as well that I kind of neglected until just now, is taking advantage of some of the interior walls a little bit better, because we have these ones, which again, they look great on the outside. You can use these as essentially windows. But you have to, again, raise them up by a floor piece. Otherwise, you'll have a one floor gap there. So this one looks good too, but again, it's not very easy to raise that by one space. You can, but those one walls I was using weren't interiors, were they? Because that would throw the whole thing off. The half walls? Have I been neglecting those too? Oh, yeah. Do they look the same as like if I do this one and then like this one on top of it? Oh yeah, it looks like way different from like what that would look like. Yeah, I'm in creative mode today. I've been playing in expert mode pretty much exclusively since it came out, but generally I've been getting like a little more burnt out in building in my expert world, because the reason I build an expert to begin with is it does feel more satisfying, but after a certain point, like the world, I feel less excited about building an expert base in my world, because one, it'll like add to my world's lag, and every update it seems that it gets not worse, but still have issues. So I've been kind of reverting back and doing more sandbox builds until like the main game becomes like really, really exciting. That's at least the goal. It's like those wouldn't look bad either, but then I gotta really commit. I guess with these I could commit to like a brown look, but do I want this whole village? Because like here's the other build. Do I want to match this build in color and style, or do I want to contrast it? Because if I stick with what I'm doing now, it's going to look pretty much the same, just different shape, obviously. But I don't know if I want to change up the color too much. I'm even thinking about going back and just changing the corners to red, and then just going for it. So I think the brown, as much as I like, it would be good in a, like, if I wanted to, I guess, like, again, I think I'm like, it's just the way my brain works. I need my buildings to either match, and if they contrast, they still have to have a part of it that rhymes with the other part of the village. And I sometimes struggle, and I have to be very specific with how I build stuff, but. Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was going to talk about that earlier, color palettes, and I kind of got sidetracked for myself. Yeah, because, like, in every other survival game, they have, like, inks and dyes and whatever petals. You know, there's all sorts of mechanics to give, like, basically a dye or a color changer. Like I think in Hytale, it's, like, petals that you get from breaking certain flowers and stuff. And then you use those petals and combine it with clay or cloth, and you get colored clay or cloth. So you can build different colored stuff. It'd be really nice if they added something similar to LEGO Fortnite, where they gave us like dyes, and maybe not, you couldn't customize it, but it would be nice if every build kit, whether it was paid or free, came with at least one or two alternative color options for every piece. So like this piece would be standard red and white. And this is kind of like that. It's literally the same piece, different color. But I think they could give us more alternates even beyond that. Like this would be the base wall, but then they could have a dark red variant that was kind of, you could like click on it, build it, and then maybe there was a way to like right click it or whatever and then pick one of the drop downs. So maybe you had one that's like brown and tan. So it's the same build, but like a widely different color from the original. And you'd have to use maybe resources in game. So like this one costs 1 granite, but maybe the alternate version of it costs 1 granite and 1 like red dye or blue dye or green dye or something like that. So you wouldn't have unlimited color variations, but at least this one part and then this one part would have the same color. So maybe this one has a baseline is red and blue or red and white, but variation 1 is like gray and brown, and then the third variation is like blue and tan, or I don't know. I'm just coming up with those aren't even good color palettes, but like there could be alternates for each one. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Here, hold on, I got this. Because I do want to make the wall a little more interesting than I'm making it right now. But then again, I don't have to overthink it every time. I overthink it and then I end up discouraging myself sometimes. Why does this piece not look the same on the bottom? I hate it when they don't do that. They give you like these two same style, these two same style. And then this one is technically different. It's got a different pattern on it than this one does. And it doesn't match this one either. Because this one has a tan line here and like a tan line up there. This one has nothing. This one has more like greebling on the bottom, so I don't know what this 2x2 is supposed to match. It should have either matched the plain white, or it should have matched the little like weathered effect that was going on there. Why haven't I not thought of that yet? Hold up. Wait a minute. That could be some interesting change of shape. Maybe I have to use a piece that's colored for it better, but like this one. I'm gonna be able to like put stuff on it, but it's like a shape that I can do. Wait a minute. Oh, that's backwards. Wait, that surely can go this way. Oh. Right? There. There we go. Why is this piece, it doesn't want to snap to the right. I think I'm also off the grid too. I'm like on a weird grid angle. Cause like, dude, holy crap, is this being non-intuitive right now? I see no reason why that wouldn't work, but the grass is getting in my face and I can't see what's happening. These should absolutely be able to go. Oh, wait, maybe. No, I swear it's because of the grid that I'm on. Let's try this one. No? Am I going insane? Am I having a stroke, chat? Is there a different piece? Is that like an inside corner and I'm looking for an outside corner? No, those should be like the same. I guess if I want them inward, they have to go, like, that way. I just don't get the spacing on it, because you'd think you'd be able to go a piece there. And then, like that. That's what I'm going for. I guess, why am I getting it wrong there? Am I just being silly? Oh, there we go. Why wasn't it that easy the first time? Am I just overthinking it? Because that's pretty interesting. It's like a little bit of a different shape. The only problem with that is, I can't put anything on these walls afterwards. Like, obviously, I can't even put anything on these walls in reality, but I don't even like it. I don't even like it. Oh, that trick doesn't work on something like this. I don't even think the thruster goes onto these. Oh, maybe it does. But even with the wall pieces, doesn't that goof it up? Yeah. See, like, no matter what, it's gonna be, like, weird. You look here, and then you get this. I guess I'd have to have, like... Because I can't really build a floor going out like that, can I? Hold on. I think if I put a non-wall piece, I maybe could, but even then, I think these count as, like, not aligned. Yeah. Because this, even though it's visually on a slant, that build piece is placed on the grid going the other way. So, like, it's, like, visually misleading. Like, it looks like this piece is on an angle, but really, when you, like, look at the grid line, see how, though the pieces are slanting, the grid still is going this way for it. Or, like, in this case, you can see even though the piece is facing that way, those green grid lines are still, like, inevitably going the opposite way. However, why do pieces need to be aligned? Is it just a restriction in the code that could be improved? Or is it an arbitrary limitation, right? That's the question. This is why my builds take forever, is because I spend about 30, 40 minutes making a decision on one simple part. I'm still going to keep the doors. Because I do like those. They still match the roof pretty nicely. And the doors are still red. But I have to find something good that replaces that middle piece while retaining this overall pattern that I already went with. Because what's annoying is when I need to fill space, there's not a lot of options. Like, there is, but there isn't. Like, sure, I have pieces that fill the space, but not pieces that fill the space and fulfill the aesthetic that I'm going with. Because, like, if I end up having... And, again, it's not a big deal, but these just don't match any other wall. So I'm thinking we do... Like, that one could look nice. Like that in the middle. Because I could just also right here, I kind of forget I have other parts I can utilize, like, where's beachside? I can do stuff like that, where I don't want two red lines there. I want to make some contrast between there and the window. Another thing I could even do is... There's really no half wall that has no blue on it? How stupid. There's got to be another white half wall, right, in the game that I purchased, right? Where's the red one I need? Is there another white? Any white half wall? Really? Oh, there's a workaround for that, isn't there? Oops. What about that? Does that look any better? Half and half? Or what if I did it there, too? Wait a minute. I was like, why wouldn't that be able to place there? Or no, there we just go full red, and then it's like an interesting taper kind of effect. Good. Because don't remember, I also have stuff to put on the walls. This is not the final look. I just want to make sure this is solid. I can't really make red on the bottom. Reason is I'm doing a technique. This is a full wall. I can push the full wall into the ground. No problem. Because I'm building on the floor here. I cannot cheat and put this halfway up. Right? See the restriction there? Because I'm using, I don't have a pure white half wall, so I have to do like a workaround here that only works if I'm building into the ground. But I kind of like the one and then the other anyway. Just go red to white. I kind of like that better. And it's simple. Oh, wait. I kind of like the way that looks better. And it keeps it similar to the other one I did, too. There we go. I like that. It's solid. Now, I pretty much keep it similar going all the way up. Because this is going to be a pretty repetitive build because it's symmetrical. So I kind of expect it to be like very almost repetitive in the pattern going up. Same windows, same doors. So now we just kind of got to find a smaller version of that same pattern and throw it here. So I think either way, we're going to start with these guys in our corners. That'll be a kind of our rhyme going all the way up. And then we'll make small little changes in between there to fit it. So like here, I think we just go like window, window, and then in the middle, we can either cap it off like this, or we just go with the no line in the middle, like that. Because again, the reason I could also fit another window in between there, right? But then the problem becomes, well, then I have 4 spaces here, And again, the only thing I could fill it with are these, and these ones don't match as much as I would like them to. And they're the only piece I have to fill there. Plus, I think 3 windows looks a little bit too much on this spot. And if I was going to do anything, I would move that in more. But if I move that in more, then I can't use this piece that has that nice corner. I would have to then go with, again, pieces that are more limiting aesthetically. Because if I go with, see, again, there's not even a 6 other than that. So there's no 6, there's no 4, there's only a 2. So if I want to shorten this and make this piece, this window piece, closer to the wall, then I have to use 3 of these, 1 to 3 of these to make it any shorter, because this is 8. And now one thing I could do is, especially to contrast that window here, because that's gonna.
What's a dream build set you'd want to have?
I think city, like a very expansive city build kit. I'm talking pieces that look like they're under construction, so you can build a building that's under construct that looks like it's actively being constructed. Then they could add 5 different kinds of like window panes, all sorts of concrete type structural beam brackets and stuff like that, signage, billboards, street lights, prefabricated street floors. They should have like more, like we already do have some, like these guys. These are more like sidewalk foundations. Why have they not released a street version of this yet? We have sidewalks. They gave us modular kind of sidewalk bricks, which is easier now. You can actually nudge them into the ground without having to do the trick of snapping it, right? But definitely, I think a city kit would go so hard. I could also switch it up, like on this floor. We could do like, I think we have one more type of window we can do here. Or I could do these ones. I could switch out for these guys, which I don't like as much. But I could alternate. We could go like these guys here. Right, like that. Like, let's see if, because again, this piece is different, but I don't think I would mind it. Like right there wouldn't look terrible. Like that's solid, right? Solid? I mean, I have an else. Technically, I don't think usually games just look at creators and go, "Hey, you want a job?" If there was, let's put this into a hypothetical. Let's say there is a job opening and they are willing to hire someone with literally no experience in the industry. Like I have, like, you know, I went to school for respiratory care. I've got a degree in respiratory cardiopulmonary sciences. But, like, I don't have a business degree. I don't have a marketing degree. Like, so, like, why would they hire someone like me? I don't think there is, like, a... Like, do they hire just create... Like, because even a creative director, you'd think that they would have to have some level of experience in either coding, marketing, or something. Or at least that's what they would want, right? That's real life. And as much ideas as I had, I don't know what I offer other than creative... direct, but I don't know. Is there a job like that? If there is, yeah, I'll put my application in. But then it becomes the question, let's say, let's hypothetical this even further. Let's say I do get that job. Would I still be able to make content? Or would that be a conflict of interest? I could not be a creative director and also be someone, because like think about it, then I'd be having all this knowledge and not being able to do anything with it, really. Did I do that right? Why does that look so wrong? Oh, because I put in a piece. Wait. Did I do something wrong? Am I going crazy? So I guess it would end up being like one or the other. Like I'd have to pick. Which I don't know. That'd be a hard choice. Maybe they could just hire me on as like a third-party consultant, so I'm not like an employee of the company. But then I have to sign. I already sign NDAs anyway, but more NDAs, stricter NDAs. Yeah, as I already, anytime I do ads surrounding updates, there's NDAs involved. You know, that's funny. Like, I'll sign an NDA, but usually, like, the stuff I end up learning is not irrelevant, but it's, by the time I learn it, everybody's learning it anyway. I think that's super solid for that level. Thank you. Shop? Yes, if I can get myself to remember to actually make another Amazon order for poly bags, or bubble mailers rather. And I still have to get a refund for the last ones that never showed up, because that's what kind of put me on a hiccup where I was like, I'm ready to go, and then I spent like $60 on bubble mailers that never showed up. And I've been hesitant because I have to make sure I find cheap ones. And I know it's a stupid excuse, but I keep putting it on the back burner because of that literal silly reason. Yeah, definitely red looks better for the corners. It just, like, obviously the brown doesn't look terrible, but the red is just overall better. Oops. I floated just a little bit too far back. Might as well get ahead of the game now and just do it now. Damn it! Oh! Is that perfect? Oh, yeah! I could also do one of these guys up here, maybe. I don't know if that would look any better or worse. Could also do that on top, even. I like that one and I don't. It's because that thing ends up being like crooked. There's also like this thing go like half and half. I don't know if that's right, but kind of get the idea. That would look kind of sweet. And there's the big beam, of course. That's the easy option. We'll just keep it like that for now, I think. It's almost easier just to spawn a chest and then dump all the stuff into those chests. I think that's what I might start doing. I do not need any of that. And I'm starting to leave crap all over the build now. Floor, I'm not too worried. I just don't want to see that every time I go look at the build. All right, did we get that whole floor finished, or did I have one more to do? No, we got it. Okay, so the next level, we go back to the original pattern, I think. Like the original idea. So we go there, there. And I guess I could do the same thing, but with windows. So I think 3 of those is a bit too much. But I want to find us some spacing or alternative. So not like that. That's kind of eh. Oh, maybe I do that window again. And then kind of match it with that. And those are all lined up the same. That doesn't look terrible. I guess right here I could just opt for this. Like that doesn't look much worse, but I do like the beach one. Yeah, it looks good. And then yeah, so that'll kind of mirror that. And then this one, we're gonna go this style, back to this style, back to that style. So I think here we can only really fit like maybe 2 of these. What is it? So we could go like there and there, and then I think we could do like 2 of these back to back. But I don't know if that's the move. Yeah, no, that looks honestly pretty nice. The only reason, again, if I want to make these 8s any shorter, and like, you know, I could have a split in between here, but then I have to make these go by 6, which, because these are my only option, there's no 4 or 6 option. So we could do this, then that, then like a split, then that, then back to this, then 3 of these, right? Oh no, here it would be 2. So then there'd be a 2 split, then that, then back to 3 of these. But these are my only space fillers, you know? So like then that floor ends up looking like that, which isn't terrible, but then I lose that little design that's in the corner throughout. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to keep that, but that's the only way if I want to add like a center gap. You know what I'm saying? Now, I suppose what I could do is go window, edge, edge, and then like this? But that looks weird, right? That looks, it doesn't follow the rules. Like, I want it to not be an exact replica of what the other floor is doing. Again, it has to like rhyme, if that makes sense. You're not copying it, but you're not contrasting it. You're rhyming it. It's like the same style, just a little bit different. Looks a little bit different. Because there, the windows look nice because they do have 4 spaces in between them. And if I wanted to keep that kind of style going. I want to do something where... Yeah. Because, like, that would be nice, because then... Between this is like a stacking a pyramid. There's 3, then 2 centered. Whereas it's kind of the same thing here. It's 2, and this is still 2, but it kind of has this kind of look to it. A triangular kind of... Boop, boop, boop. You see the triangle that you're forming with these 3 windows and like these 2 windows? And then the triangle, it's more of what is it, like a rhombus or like a... But there's still like an angle, like with the pieces going up like that. And that's kind of the look I want going all the way up. I don't know how to describe it. I didn't go to school for architecture, but I feel like I have a pretty good feel for it. See, it's just annoying because anything that has design on it is 8 wide. So it forces you to have like a spacing of 8. And then this, again, 8, 8, 16. And then the only other alternatives are 2x2s. There's no 2x4s. There's no 2x6s in this set. Like, you'd think they could at least, even if it's not used in the prefabs that they use, why not give us a 2x6 version of this wall? At the very least. Because that allows you to do 2 and make a 12. Because if you also notice, there's no 12. Which has been something historic. They only cater the build pieces to what the original designers used in the prefabs. Which I think is like, not selfish, but it's kind of like the best word I can use for it. They're designing these pieces with their professional designers in mind and what they come up with at the end. And they said, oh, well, we built something really cool with only using 8s and 16s. So here you go. Well, what about the rest of us? Like, I'm a good builder, but I know not everybody out there is like that. So I think they should be thinking beyond just their own needs as designers and what they can produce with these kind of pieces. Because I'm not asking for 1x1s. I'm not asking for like little tiny pieces but like like every kit should have 2s, 4s, 6s, 8s, 12s, and 16s. As far as like roofs, fences, anything that's a structural piece should have every range of those, right? I don't want to call it laziness because I think it's short-sighted, maybe is the best word. Because, again, they can get by and make something cool with an 8 and a 16 set. But everybody else, unless we build in that same exact logical mindset of 8s and 16s, we don't get to do as much as we want to. I think it's short-sighted at worst. Yeah, half walls are the same. Like, dude, like the amount of build kits that are missing, like their half wall counterpart. Like, this is the half wall section, and this is our wall section. The one, we only have 8s and 16s and 2x2s again. But also the variation is even more limited, and I get it. You guys only use these for like foundations. Like really, what they're using half walls for most of the times is to do what I did. I'll show you on the other build I have over here. So this build, These are generally what half walls are used for. Very basic stuff, like giving you a half wall raise on your foundation, and those easy to do, just repetition, and it looks good. Whereas sometimes there's like niche opportunities where you want to use a half wall because you could use like instead of using one full wall, you use one half wall and another half wall, and that gives you a really cool new third piece. Great example of that. The best example of that is Lion Knight's Castle. Which they could have just given us more pieces to begin with. But check this out. So Lion Knight's Castle, great set, by the way. If it ever comes back into the item shop, definitely grab it. You've got these windows, right? And they come in these two sizes. And then also in the half wall section for this kit, they did one of the best things ever. They gave us a half wall with a window in it, which allows you to do a couple of things. You can take that half wall window and you can snap it there and have a low window. And you can have ultimately use that half wall there. And you've got a third, an alternate option to these ones. And then again, alternatively to that, you could take this and have a high window. So that way I use this a lot in my castle type builds, because in some situations having a high window was way better. Like if I was in a kitchen, like if I was building a kitchen for the inside, kind of having a higher window like made more sense to me, and it also gives you more contrast in the build. But this freedom right here was really nice to contrast the heights of windows, because it gave you a lot of good half wall pieces to work with here, at least decent ones. So more of that breeds more custom building, because again, I think if they don't, it's like almost every build by design is inevitably, if you like, I'm not saying you can't, like, look what I did. Like, this doesn't look like any of the prefabs. But a lot of the times, it's like the pieces they give us only give so many. Like, there's still a lot of variation you can do, but I'm talking logistically and spacing things. It doesn't have the foresight for building outside of the style that the prefab originally was created for. Can you show that build? There's no interior yet, but yes. I mean, there's interior floors and stairs, but there's no interior deco. Oh my god. If they could just make it so you don't mantle when you're facing away from the object, that would be fantastic. I would be very happy about that. But this is all walkable. So you can see I even kind of did the same deal there. Oh, hold up. He's the wrong... Did I do an inconsistency? I guess, yeah. Those are the only two doors I did that on. I must have never changed them. I noticed now. I noticed now. It's actually funny. Yeah, it's funny. I did it over here too. I gotta replace those lights still, but... Oopsie! When you really look, you can see it. Where are they? These ones? Alright, and where are we putting these guys? They go... Yep, I see, okay. Wait, no, that's by a door, so it's gonna be different. They need to be... Oh, maybe that's why I did it. No, wait. No, because I did it there. Oh, but I don't have... Maybe that's why I did it. Maybe those had to be that way. Just there and there. Because these have open doors. These ones don't, but then... Yeah, it's because I have windows here. Wait, shouldn't those be doors? No, I didn't want doors on every level. Do I have doors on every level here? Yeah, see, I have doors on every level here. That was another inconsistency. I guess I could get rid of the doors here, but then I kind of lose my ability to put those. So do I add a door here, or do I... Because now those lights, I literally can't add those lights because they don't attach to anything here. I don't think that nothing here sticks out to the right level. So maybe that's why I had them that way. So I do want to replace the lights, but I guess it's not the biggest deal if those pieces are a little out of whack or miscolored from the rest of them. The 90-degree wall on one corner. So I either change these to doors and it'll fit on better. I don't like that idea. Even, you know what? I think I meant to do that. Every other one is a door. Those are the only two on that whole middle part that I didn't make doors. Maybe that was an inconsistency I just overlooked, and I did mean to put a door there. Because now, see those red pieces? They stick out more than the white pieces do, and it actually gives me a supporting piece. See, then they go in just fine. But yeah, I did think I made, because I already have windows here. Why would I double up on windows there? I think that was just an inconsistency mistake that I overlooked. I think those were supposed to be doors the whole time. Like, that was my original intention. Is just have that middle part all doors. There we go. But yeah, this building is, for now, empty, but we are working on, I'm going to make a big-ass village, so that is my tall, pointy building. Right here, because we're not finished with it yet, obviously, right here, so we have a little custom pathway that goes through, and right here, I think I'm going to build something similar in the in-world spawn that was here before I destroyed it. I think over here, we're going to do something again with these guys, and I want to do kind of like almost in the same shape that they did here, but do something along the lines of nice, big, sturdy base, and then kind of do something on top of that. Like maybe here I throw the brown kind of style build because it's the only thing that kind of matches better. But I could also have a build go right on the side of this. But I don't know. I want something there for sure. We're working on I'm going to build something over there eventually. Over here, I'll probably do like another sort of tower. I'll contrast. I always try to contrast each build from the other. Like this one is obviously very unique in the shape. It has some of the slanted pieces used at the front to give it even more shape. And then it's got very balcony heavy. Where this building is very, as far as like the aesthetic goes, this is very like, I don't want to call it generic, but very typical of this kind of architecture. So I had to include one of these builds. So on the build over here, what I could also do is if I build, did I build these on the same or different? Yeah, I think these face the same way. Because I also want to do some sort of build that is somewhat of a bridge, not like that long. But I want to do something that is like two structures and then like an up and over and then like an under. So that way it contrasts from the shape of these buildings. I just have to figure out something to put on the walls here. The only problem is, again, unless I put stuff here, Or I guess I've got stuff like that I can throw there. As long as it touches the top part there where it actually makes a connection, it'll work. I've also got stuff like this. We've also got these things that honestly, those wouldn't look bad either. Because I do use the, did I use those on this build? Or is that just on my other build? Oh yeah, they used the teeth on my last build. I didn't really include it on this one. But that's like all stuff that this, it adds contrast and color, right? And especially if I add them to like every level, you get like kind of that rhyming pattern going. And that fills up a lot of wall space too. Like something like that would be pretty interesting. And then in the middle, so we also have this thing, which again, it can only go on the very like, nope, can't even go on the bottom. It has to go up here to attach. If I want to do that on the wall, anything on the wall has to be touching the red part. And the reason is they really haven't improved this at all. I think you could technically, yeah, you can connect it there. You see how there is a supporting grid line? This white, where the white is, it's easier to show you on, I guess, a wall like this. You see how when I place it on there, it's just ever so floating off the wall, and then if I nudge it this way, it's going into the wall. So it's either infinitely floating or colliding. That's because this is the actual grid line it wants to line up with, is this red part. And if you look, see how there's a lip, so you can see like that much red sticking out from the white. This white part is about a half a stud more shallow than this part. And the game, it's either a bug or an unintended thing where the game, it only is able to find like these native grid lines. So this line up where this wall is actually lining up with isn't actually a grid line in world for it to match with. So it becomes a problem where you can only end up attaching it with something that naturally falls on those vertical grid lines. If that makes sense. Probably doesn't to most people, but if you've been playing the game a while, it probably gives some insight to an extent. See, and I've got these guys, so it's not like I can't add some more spice to it, because I did add these over here, I think. How do you come up with custom builds, dude? Pretty much, especially in LEGO Fortnite, dude. I mean, you pretty much do, because if you do something perfectly square, with this style, it lends it, because I started with a perfectly square base. Try to just make randomly shaped rectangles, L's, U's, and S's that are square. And I pretty much just do that. Like, my next build is pretty much just going to be like a half H. My next build, probably over there, is going to be tall and two towers, and then it's going to have some sort of bridge mechanism going between the two of them. So the overall shape of the building is like a rough, stretched out H shape. Whereas the shape of this building, this is just like a spear building. And then this building is similar to that one, but it doesn't have a taper going up. This building is just a rectangle going up with an extra patio sticking out. So it's like, how do you dress your square? That's the name of the game when it comes to building a structure. Make an interesting shaped square or rectangle, and then find ways to dress it up. As in, how do I make it contrast? How do I make having things stick out, like these balconies? Because if without the balconies, this is literally just a big old square going down. It's a fancy square. And that's really how you have to think about it. And I think without trying to get technical, that's the easiest way to think about it for sure. Yeah, they do that a lot alive. Unfortunately, since the beginning of time, they have teased us with in-world builds that have to this day not become available. Especially when you go around and you still go to the original grasslands and frostlands and you see castle pieces that still after 2 years aren't available in any of the castle builds that the one castle builds that have come out. But yeah, my guess is some of these other builds, like the green ones, the green roofed ones, and then the shoreline builds, my guess is those ones will be in part 2. Like that'll be, I don't think it'll be part 2 battle pass, but I think here's my guess. These are going to be, because Ninjago is the first ever content update to not include free builds. Star Wars, you get free builds for leveling up the Star Wars village. Lost Isles, you got the free tutor builds for leveling up a Lost Isles build. And I think Storm King was the only one that you really didn't get free ones. Or did you? Am I missing? Am I not thinking of ones? But Ninjago, you'd think that leveling up a Ninjago village would have got you some free build. So I think part 2 is going to bring that. And like, I think you're going to have to like level up the sanctuaries probably, or just they'll add the village thing like they always have. And then those green builds will be included. The only other alternative is they throw them in the item shop. Oh, actually, third alternative. They forget about them, and this is the only place we ever see them for the history of this game. Until, of course, you do enough of the chaos challenges, and then the enemies passively destroy the whole thing until they wither away. But yeah, I agree. I wish we got these in some shape or form. It's like, you'd think they're available, because if they're already assets that can be used by the developers, how much more work is it to make that into like a package and then package that into like an item shop or like in-game use item? Like the hard part has, I could be wrong, but the hard part has to be over, which is modeling it, designing it, getting it into the, playable in the game without glitching out. I guess technically, yeah, you get some vehicle stuff. This is a good contrasting build as far as the shape, though, and I like the height that I went with, the overall taper. 2-2, taper, 2-2, taper. Worked out really well. I thought the windows and the walls were good before. You mean like what I was doing over here? They were. There was just a kind of an issue with some of the pieces that are and aren't able to stick onto them. Was what a nerf? Oh, it's all my stuff. I'm like, what the hell is that? Looks like a portal for a second. All right. I'm actually going to have... Yep, we're at my call-in time. I'm not doing a full 4-hour today. I still need to kind of cool off. The weekend, I barely rested. I felt like I was super stressed out all weekend, even though I took off. But I'll get cracking on this tomorrow. We can finish it up tomorrow. But you see what I mean when it's all about finding your structure, and don't worry about aesthetics until later. Otherwise, that's just going to hurt your spacing and your overall trying to design the darn thing. But yeah, I do like those tan pieces worked in there. I think that looks super valid. And then the only other thing that I could think for wall stuff to give it some extra style points is... I don't know if the white ones look as good because they kind of just blend in anyway, more tan. But I could work with these too. I think these are great. We can go these, like, and the great thing is I can hang them anywhere. So even like here, if these are getting bumped into, I could just move it forward anyway. But yeah, I think something like that. How much bigger, smaller is the little tooth? Wait. Doesn't want to place there, huh? Oh, let me place it there. Interesting. Yeah. We'll finish it up tomorrow. We'll get the rest of it done. Then we'll get on to the next building. I can see if I can. I'll probably just be winding down, making myself a meal after I log off. Why don't I make a world with subs? Well, one, you can only have 8 people in a world total in this game. And second, it's still like it's not unmanageable, but maybe it's crossplay. I don't know. I have had not the greatest, and not with the people, but anytime we play with more than like a few people, dude, it's just like someone logs in, whole world lags. Someone takes a bus, whole world lags. So it's like a annoyance the whole time you're trying to have fun playing collectively. And every time I've just got too frustrated with the lag where it makes the whole experience not as fun. Let's do Spixie Lee. So say we did reality the other day too. And I hung out, remember? Who was there when I went over to reality recaps stream and I wasn't on my own stream. I was just viewing their stream and I actually went into their world and built them an animal catcher for them. Little impromptu Epic Bricks cameo. No, I didn't get any of that from the item shop. Miss Dimples! How you doing? Always nice to have the lurkers. I see you guys. I actually don't see you guys. I had never really have my view. I don't have my view count in a place that I can see it when I stream for Twitch. I do have for TikTok, but my other views I never look at until like the stream ends. So I never really know how many people may or may not be lurking compared to chatters. But I'm out of here, guys. Have a beautiful night. I will see you tomorrow.